Essentially, the table is a musical score for any objects that are placed upon it. The table is also a whiteboard, so you can draw on it. In this case, dark objects are interpreted as musical notes in a score. Another image of that. And the way it works is quite simple. Time goes across and pitch goes up. So the vertical lines, or sorry, the horizontal lines are octaves. The horizontal lines, sorry, the vertical lines are 16th notes. And the result is a kind of a musical situation in which an augmented sort of projection lets you know what's happening when, and you can sort of create musical patterns in the meantime. Vertical marks occupy a larger part of the frequency space, and so they make kind of a percussive burst. So it's possible with a system like this to compose music, almost as a kind of a VJ. So, a simple interactive system whose point is to allow people to discover a new way of expressing themselves. Much of my work is like this. After working with tangible media and various kinds of mouse-based and object-based interfaces, I really became interested in using as much of a direct kind of interface as possible, using the body and the voice. And so for a long time, I've been thinking about how to visualize the voice and visualizing communication itself. Flashback to my childhood is this. It's an animation, it's 1980s, and I see this, a Czech animation by Michaela Pavlatova. I saw it when I was young, and the image stayed with me. And I wondered if it was possible to actually create a system that would allow people to see their speech, their shouts, their barks, their song. And so, 10 years ago now, I developed with Zach Lieberman, Jaap Blanc, and Joan LaBarbera a performance and installation called Messa di Voce. It's a performance that allows two singers or vocalists or other kinds of performers to see their speech. Here's the basic premise. There's a kind of augmented projection, and in back of you are these things that come out of your head. Here's an example of that. In this case, Jaap, who's a Dutch sound poet, is really an expert in performing an extended vocal repertoire of unusual noises with his mouth. He's making here something he calls his cheek synthesizer. It sounds a bit like this. And with each flap of his cheek, a ball comes out of his head. The basic setup looks like so. It's a large screen or multiple screens. And a computer vision system tracks his head so it knows where his apparent source of origin of his sound